All right, welcome to the introduction here to our project cable tracker. This is the tracker we want to use for all projects going forward. So we have just a common one we're using, everybody doing their same thing. This also has some tools built in to help us pump out our forms in an automated fashion. So I'm just going to do a quick walkthrough here. First, you can obviously see project information is up here. Your completion percentage as it goes along will update here, tell you your total cables, your percent pulled, percent terminated, etc. And all of your cable schedule information will come imported here. So that's something I can help you with, or we can work together and sort it out. Now for some of the details here, what you can't do is delete rows. If you need to, if you see information here you don't want, if you see columns, sorry, I said rows, if you see columns you don't want, you can hide those columns, but we cannot delete columns. The programming counts on seeing those names here that you see along the top, so those need to stay there. The other item is you can't add rows in between 1 and 6 here. All of this information you can start, of course, if you need to add a tag or delete a tag, you can do that down below here. But between rows 1 and 6, those have to stay there. We can't move everything down or it's going to gum things up. Let's see here. As cables are pulled or terminated here, so all this information on the first sheet, this cable schedule, is all information for tracking the cables. If you need to add things, you add them here. You don't add them in a cable check sheet that we'll go into later. As those cables are pulled and terminated, whoever's done that will update that to a yes here, and then we'll go over and see the next sheet. So this is where the cable checks are actually done and recorded. All the applicable cable information automatically comes over from the cable checks worksheet. The only thing to remember is if a new tag number is added or deleted, like we talked about, you'll add that on the cable schedule as well as all your information. If you need to add that tag in, you'll need to come over here and manually type that in. So you'll need to insert a row, manually type in the tag. The rest of that information will automatically pull over from that sheet, but it does need that tag as a reference. So when both the cable pulled and cable terminated that we talked about in the first ones, when those fields are completed, that applicable row will change colors here to show that this tag is ready to be inspected. We'll also say yes here, just the color helps to make it a little more obvious that it's ready for inspection. So we've done a few here just as an example. So these sheets are tied into our 333 Megger and continuity checklists and our Form 339 control and power cable installation checklists. So as we go through, we fill out all the pertinent information as we have it. You can see for all of these, this is for the 339, it's going to be OK or NA. Those are your two options. It should be formatted that you can't enter anything else. For our 333 sheets, those are here, and you just put in, obviously, if you're using like a Fluke 1507 or something, you're going to see greater than 11 gigs. The advantage to doing this is we're filling out the paperwork. I mean, it's already quicker, but you also have the option, if you've done 20 cables, you have them all listed. There you go. They're all ready to go. If you know it's NA, if you've only got, a 2-conductor cable, it's that quick, right? This is where we see the big advantage. Same with your test instrument. All this is here. Put that in. You'll see there's a spot for comments there. There's 2 fields for names. It's the date inspected. I've just used my name because why not? We have 2 fields, our sheets. For those of you who are familiar with them, there's a spot for who did the checklist and who did the QA. If it's 2 separate people, you can enter those separately. Once all the information's done, this is where we start to see what this does here. Once all the information's in here, you can run the program. So you're going to see here by default the location of our 333 and 339 templates is in the O drive in the quality program folder there under quality forms. If for some reason you don't have access to the O drive, you can we'll get you the templates, you can put them locally, and then you paste that folder location here for wherever you're keeping those files. Okay, so when we're ready, after all the information's there, You click the button to start. It's going to ask you if you want form 1 or 2. There are 2 options right now. This is just what's been built so far. We can add more. This is whenever we're doing a lot of something, this is when it pays off, right? If you're doing 20 cables on a project, this is going to save you some time. If you're doing 500 cables on a project, it's going to save you ridiculous amounts of time. If you're only doing 5, you're probably off better doing it by hand. But anyway, form 333, first row of data. Start at row 7 here. That's just what I filled out. If for some reason you need to print out rows 23 to 39, you could enter that, but we're just going to do 7 to 12 this time just to show what's going on. Last row of data is 12. And it's going to ask you where you want those sheets to populate. So you can pick any folder location. We're just going to do this right now. Copy and paste that in here. And now it's going to spit those out. All right, when it's done, it says complete. We can go take a look at what we got here. So here you'll see the project number, form number, then the tag number. So it saved them all like that. Give you a look at what that looks like for the 333. The sheet is intended to cover off multiple cables at once. We don't need to do that, obviously, if we're auto-populating. But here's all the information. The project information is up here. Client reference, blah, blah, blah. Here's our test equipment information, the drawing information we put in, and tag number and their values, right? So everything that we did there is carried over, including inspected by, name. There's no spot for comments on this sheet, so that's okay. Here's the dates that were put in. So it's like that for all 6. So go back in here right now. It exits out once it's done that, so we'll click it again. Same thing for the 339. First row data, 7, 12. And it's going to ask me again. I think that it is lost. Nope, it remembers. Okay. We'll give it a second again to populate those sheets. There we go. It says it's complete. We'll go and check again here on those. So there's our 339 sheets. Take a look at those. So here you can see, once again, all of our information, including the cable information, number of conductors, size, installation rating, from, the to, blah, all that stuff. Everything that we said was okay is here, including the checklist names. There's your comments. Just want to show that if you set an NA, here we go. This one, I guess I put all NA across just as an example. So all that information is there. Everything we can put in the sheet, we really, question was asked, what if there's a signature needed? We can update the template to already contain the signature of the inspector, so that's no problem if we need to. All that information is there. Oh, you can see this one looks a little weird. It says no conductors, no gauge. But if I go here, 26003, you'll see I didn't actually put that information. I didn't pull that across here, right? So yeah, anything you give it is going to be there, obviously. It's really just that simple. This is supposed to be just a brief overview. We can adapt it to fit whatever we need to. There's also a conduit tracker. I haven't tied it into any sheets here yet. You can see that's there as well. So the intention is to use this on every one going forward. Yeah, if there's anything we need to change, we can do that. But yeah, if you have specific questions, feel free to reach out and we can make it work. Thanks.